Chan-Hyung Baek is a 19-year-old from Korea, born on February 26, 1999. However, the world knows him best as Fissure. Chan-Hyung has always been a competitive person from his time in sports during his childhood, notably skiing. But during his time in middle school, his passion for esports was kindled. His time as a professional Overwatch player was not his first attempt at making it as a pro. At his first attempt to break into the pro scene, Chan-Hyung managed to claw his way into the challenger rank in League of Legends, where he faced off against the best the League of Legends community had to offer. However, despite his challenger level skill at the game, he was never able to go pro. After reaching his peak in League of Legends, under the encouragement of his friends, Chan-Hyung moved to another Blizzard game, Heroes of the Storm, and played professionally throughout 2016. During his time in Heroes of the Storm, Chan-Hyung made multiple tournament appearances as parts of Team 1.4 and Mighty as Ma-in Peng, but was never able to secure a tournament win. His greatest achievement during this period was a 4th place finish in the Heroes of the Storm Super League. Then came the release of Blizzard's latest IP, Overwatch. The game made ripples in the Korean esports community, and like many pros, Chan-Hyung eagerly faced the challenges inherent to switching genres from a MOBA to a FPS. The difficulties were many, such as aim, lack of a minimap, and an overall game sense. To celebrate the new start, he took on the handle Fissure. He began his pro Overwatch career with Kongdoo Panthera, now known as the Overwatch League team, the London Spitfire. In the beginning of his Overwatch career, Kongdoo as a whole was split over signing Fissure as the team showed their discontent with the coach's decision to bring Fissure in. But this did not dissuade Fissure from pursuing total mastery of Overwatch. His hard work and dedication would pay off as Fissure was part of the roster that brought Kongdoo Panthera to the grand finals of Apex during seasons 3 and 4. However, Kongdoo would always fall short of claiming the Apex Championship title they so desired, falling to both Lunatic High and GC Busan. With the advent of the Overwatch League, many fans eagerly awaited for the reveal of where Fissure and the rest of the Kongdoo roster would end up. On November 4th, 2017, the wait was finally over. Fissure would follow his teammates into the Overwatch League, combining with GC Busan members to form the London Spitfire. While the Spitfire would ultimately rule Stage 1 of the league after a grueling 14-map run, Fissure spent most of the stage and the title match on the bench.
His first time on the main stage in his purple jersey. Now it looks like with the addition of Fissure, this team has all the pieces they may need.
Yeah, and Fissure, a great addition to this team. He came from the London Spitfire. Fissure was not satisfied by being just swapped in and out every now and then. He wanted to have that position in the starting lineup. That's something he's going to get.
On February 13th, 2018, just prior to Stage 2, the Overwatch community received some surprising news, with London announcing they were transferring Fissure to the LA Gladiators. At the time, the Gladiators had been near the bottom of the league for the majority of Stage 1. However, this all changed when the Fissure Nation attacked. With Fissure stepping into the front lines, the LA Gladiators have become a far more consistent team. This is especially apparent in the coordination of their teamfights, which has risen to a whole new level. The LA Gladiators have, at the recording of this video, had a Stage 2 record of 6-4 with victories over both LA Valiant and London Spitfire. Considering their previous placement, these results were outstanding and unthinkable from a team with a 4-6 exit from Stage 1, and a lot of this improvement can be laid at the feet of Fissure. After spending most of Stage 1 on the bench, Fissure charged back into the spotlight to show off his skills. Fissure is a notable tank player, having mastered all 3 main tanks with widely different playstyles. As a tank player, Fissure uses a DPI of 800 and an in-game sensitivity of 6, equaling an EDPI of 4,800, a relatively high EDPI that makes the quick turns required by tanks easier to pull off. Fissure plays a passive Reinhardt that makes space with the barrier field while poking with fire strikes. When his ultimate is fully charged, he hammers down key members of the enemy team to initiate teamfights with a bang. And when Fissure does decide to hammer down, you better get ready to head straight back to spawn. Orisa is not known for being a mechanically demanding tank. Most of the time, putting down the shield and shooting through it is all that is required. However, Fissure has taken this simple character and consistently finds ways to completely outplay the competition with her straightforward kit. Take this encounter with the Houston Outlaws during Week 4 of Stage 2 as an example. Muma starts this fight with the Earth Shatter available. If he lands it on the 3 Gladiators members contesting the point, Orisa, Diva, and Junkrat, then the point would have likely gone to the Outlaws. However, the second that Muma goes for the Shatter, Fissure moves his projected barrier to block it completely, denying its value. Without a big ult to disable the enemy tanks, the Outlaws slowly get blown apart by Hydration's Junkrat.
He got a little bit far away from it, wasn't able to just finish off that hack, got very close, but Chaz will get resurrected. So you had Fate fall here for the Valiant, as a few kills here going in favor of the Gladiators. Another hack trying to come through from Hydration onto Agility, so you know how devastating the hack is now. As Fissure's like, get him, son! The map, and
oh no, he's gone! He's got another jump, he gets knocked back, barraged in, this is a bit ballsy, Fissure takes him down! Nobody doesn't like Fissure! Nobody's more handsome!
That is so filthy.
Nobody's more handsome and handsy when it comes to the Primal Rage, dude. That's so filthy.
Fissure has also shown an incredible level of skill with Winston as the main tank of the LA Gladiators, being capable of utilizing all of Winston's toolkit, such as primal punches to both take and save lives, precision jump pack combos, and key bubble placements. Fissure always seems to have an idea of what is going on in the game, especially anticipating what the enemy DPS players are thinking. This outplay leads to funny looking moments like this from the Gladiators match against Dallas Fuel, where he survived AKM's persistent Widowmaker.
Dead for Dallas Fuel. Now the thing is, they can fall back. Oh, another nice shot from AKM there. Can't stay alive though.
Fissure dancing in circles. He was waiting for his cool.
Fissure, knowing that he needs to stay alive till his barrier and jump pack come off cooldown, he jukes out the enemy Widow to buy needed time. Then, with his abilities available, he leaps to the safety of his supports, leaving AKM out to dry. This type of defensive Winston play is practically required by any tank player in the Overwatch League and isn't necessarily unique to Fissure. But what does help set Fissure apart from the other Winstons in the Overwatch League is his ability to make decisive and clean engagements. For a better idea of how this distinguishes Fissure's Winston play, let's explore how Fissure's engagement cracks the Fuel's defensive setup on Hanamura. After a repelled dive, the Gladiators regroup for their second push. The Gladiators stack up at the door, but where's the main tank, Fissure? See this jump here? Remember it for now, but let's look at Fuel's defensive setup. Dallas are set up in a Zulu Bullhorns formation, facing the choke with Mickey holding the building on the left, with XQC and Effect holding the right flank. Finally, in the pocket next to the point, we have Harry, Kusta, and AKM grouped together forming a healing and damage core. This is a standard positioning for a 76 defense on Hanamura, with the horns holding back or counter-diving any team that tries to aim for the core or point. The support stacking up with the 76 makes him harder to successfully dive, and this lets them hold these long sight lines. This setup is good versus the standard tactics of the right building flank, the straight to point rush, as the 76 gets tons of time to pump out the damage. However, if a team can get enough people on top of the core without taking damage, the whole strategy can collapse. Sadly, this is difficult as most Winston leaps have a hard time covering this distance in one jump, as most jumps from the door only get near the front of the point.
Hi there.
Now remember that Winston jump back from before? Let's go back to that. He is here. Fissure's positioning baits XQC to jump up and challenge him. However, the instant that XQC commits his mobility skill, Fissure pops his jump pack, going over the entrance building, surfing on a rooftop of the point building to reach the Dallas backline. Let's watch from poor Harry's viewpoint. With the sudden emergence of Fissure and his bubble, all of 76's line of sight to the choke are cut off. This opens the door for the rest of the Gladiators to charge in. Poor Kusta is cut off from Harry's healing by the bubble, with Harry's biotic grenade splashing uselessly against the shield. Kusta and 76 get blown up, and the rest of the fight snowballs from there, with the only purple casualty being Bishu. A resounding point capture coming from a clean tank engagement that knocked the door wide open. This is top tier Overwatch, a realm only available to top level tanks and their teams. Fissure has put forward new strength into the Gladiators. His leadership in-game has been crisp as both a tank player and as the in-game leader. He has also started to help structure the team in a new direction, as news leaked out that Fissure convinced the Gladiators management to sign Void to help shore up the off-tank position. As for right now, the Gladiators still have a chance to reach the stage playoffs, as the team ahead of them, the San Francisco Shock, are facing against both the London Spitfire and New York Excelsior. Tough matches to be sure. But as long as the Gladiators upset London, beat Florida Mayhem, and the Outlaws in their upcoming matches, the 4th slot will go to map differential, meaning there is still a chance for Purple to show up in this title match. In terms of season playoffs, the Gladiators are 4 match wins away from 6th place in the league, so they need to win 4 more matches than the Fusion to have a shot in the season playoffs. A tall order considering the power of Fusion at the moment, but with Fissure leading the charge, hope shall never die. Shields up.
제스처 선수나 페이트 선수나 수많은 선수들이 이제 최고의 탱커라고 얘기하는데 그거는 제가 이제 나오지 않았을 때 얘기고 제가 나왔을 때 제스처 선수와 페이트 선수보다 제가 더 잘한다고 생각하기 때문에 제가 지금 최고의 탱커라고 생각하고 있습니다.
Gestures down, it's no good! The Gladiators have won the series! I can't believe it!
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out our channel for more action-packed content. Also, like and share this video, and click the subscribe button to join our notification squad. Thanks for watching.